Welcome back to another Benchmark podcast. We are going to update the title just a little bit. We're just going to call it the Benched In Podcast. I'm really excited to have you guys back. We've got Kim with Legacy Earthworks, LLC joining us today, and his sales rep, Andy, is in the studio with us as well. Kim, welcome.
Thank you.
Absolutely, man. I know you guys are glad to see a little bit of sunshine today versus the week of rain we've had.
Absolutely, no doubt about it.
Awesome.
I saw a shadow a while ago and it scared me.
Yeah, I don't know what that giant yellow thing up in the sky was. Is that the sun? Did it come back? I'm not sure.
I don't know, but I sure wish I could find my Ray-Bans.
Awesome. So we're going to play a little game this time around just to get to know Kim a little bit better and Andy a little bit better. We're gonna get benched in with you, Kim. So. All right. First off the bat, man, real quick. First answer that comes to the top of your head. Don't think about it too much. It's supposed to be fun. Cat or dog?
Dog.
Dog. Andy?
Dog.
Always. You got a particular breed?
Not necessarily.
No?
Mountain cur.
There you go. Oh, I love curs. Curs are awesome. All right. Now, Andy told me you're more of a bourbon than a beer guy, but I got to ask, beer or bourbon?
Bourbon.
And your favorite brand?
Wild Turkey.
Oh, my man.
101.
Andy?
I'll go with bourbon.
All right. What about your favorite?
Blanton's.
Okay. Nice. Good choice. All right. Moving on. Ford, Chevy, or Dodge?
Had always been a Ford man, but here recently I just purchased a Dodge, and it's going pretty well.
Okay. So you are like most people because they can't get their hands on a Ford or Chevy right now, so Dodges are all that's out there.
Right.
Okay. Andy?
Ford all the way.
Right on. You know, actually, my grandfather worked in the steel mills of Pittsburgh way back in the day. They gave Ford all of their steel, so I'm a Ford guy as well. Got to be. Let's see. Cat or Komatsu?
On both.
Okay.
Can't really at this time pick one over the other.
Fair enough.
Quite honestly.
Okay. Andy, I know you got no skin in the game here, but Cat or Komatsu?
Well, I'll just go with Cat, American made.
Okay.
That's kind of all I got right now. But, I mean, you can't tell the difference. The dirt can't tell the difference right now.
Fair enough. We got mud right now, but.
Yeah. No, true.
When you're at home, you want to be on the couch or the recliner?
That is a no-brainer. Recliner.
Amen, brother.
Tractor.
So you're saying you don't relax when you're home. You prefer to leave work and go to work.
Don't relax well. Don't know what that means.
Okay.
Recliner is the first thing I look for when I walk in the door.
There you go. I like it. With your bourbon. Wild Turkey?
Everyone knows to clear out.
That's my chair. Get out. All right. Which would you rather have more of, money or free time?
Quite honestly, I think I'd love to have a little more free time.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I agree. You can have all the money in the world.
Money's always good, but you need that free time to do something with it.
It's true. I mean, you can't pursue your hobbies with all the money in the world. You got to have that time.
Exactly.
Andy?
I'm going with free time as well.
Yeah, right on. All right. If you hit the lottery tomorrow and you could quit work, what would you do?
I continue working.
Okay.
I'm just not one that can lay back.
I'm with you.
I've got to do something.
Okay. I don't blame you. I've always said if I hit the lottery, I'd invest in some sort of business and keep working somehow. Maybe a little more free time, but yeah, I'm with you. Andy?
I'd finally have a way to pay for my farming habit.
All right. Ocean or the mountains?
I don't necessarily have a favorite.
Okay.
I enjoy both.
Okay. Understandable. This time of year, probably more the mountains than the ocean.
Maybe so.
Yeah.
A little snow. It's a little cool to be getting in the water. So,
you got a favorite mountain range you go to?
Not necessarily.
Okay. Andy?
I'm a mountain guy. The wife's a beach girl, but I like West Jefferson, that area up in Ashe County.
So you're mountain, she's ocean, and you landed in Raleigh. That makes sense.
Yep. My uncle had a farm up there when I was a kid, and just a lot of good memories from that area.
Yeah. Fair enough. All right. You're sitting around the bonfire. Are you the talker or are you enjoying the silence?
Depends on how much of the bourbon I've had.
So we go from the...
A little bit of both.
Yeah, fair enough.
Pretty silent in the beginning, more bourbon, more talking.
Fair enough. Andy, I already know you're a talker.
10-4.
All right, this is a good one. This is my favorite question I like to end on. Best piece of advice you've ever been given?
I would have to say the best advice I have been given was I've been told that the only dumb question is the question you don't answer. Don't ask.
And that's very true. I mean, I think in any industry you can take that too, for sure.
I have gotten myself in trouble many times for not asking a question that I thought was done. So
fair enough. Andy?
I think one piece of advice that I was given when I was a kid was never take yourself so seriously. You're just a peon like the rest of us.
Yeah, because nobody else cares what you're doing.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
So be good.
And don't treat anybody else. Don't put anybody else on a pedestal that you don't know that need to be there.
Oh, that's another good one. I like that. Best piece of advice I ever got was when I was in college. I worked at Cold Stone. Just got promoted to shift manager. The gentleman that owned it was an old retired Army colonel. And I remember the girls' bathroom toilet got all stopped up. And I was like, sweet, I can tell somebody else to do this. I ain't got to worry about it. And so I said, hey, go clean that bathroom up. And he looked at me, he goes, don't ever tell somebody to do something that you haven't done yourself first.
exactly.
And I was like, man, that makes too much sense. I can't argue with that. And he said, once you've done it, you can tell somebody else to do it. And I think that holds true for management, for parenting, for just general work. If you ain't willing to do it, don't tell somebody else to do it.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
I agree totally.
Yeah, that stuck with me. That was a long time ago, but that stuck with me. All right. You feeling a little bit warmed? You feeling like you want to tell some stories? Andy said you've got good ones.
I'm not sure about that, but yeah, we can go for it.
Hey, let's go for it. So we'll just start with the simple question, Kim. How long have you been in the construction industry?
Not quite as long as Andy has said that I have, but since 1978.
Okay, so Andy, not quite built in New York, like you said.
Well, I was born in 77.
And how exactly did you get into it?
It's something that I was interested in when I was going to, when I was in high school. I worked with farmers every afternoon, weekends when I was out. Love working in dirt. Something that I thought I could do to be able to see an end result at the end of the day.
Sure.
And just that's just basically how I got into it.
Gotcha. So you started early.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. What besides being a kid and liking to play in the dirt? I mean, what drew you to it? Was it the fact that you could see the end product at the end of the day?
The end product. I can manipulate something and turn it into something.
I gotcha. Okay. So did you have any other projects that were kind of along the same line that kind of helped guide you in that direction?
A little woodworking, stuff like that.
Okay. Kind of walk me through, your first, I guess, when you got hired on into a construction firm. Well, who did you first work for?
I worked for a company out of Smithfield. It's called W. Blackman Construction Company.
Okay. How long did you work for them?
And I worked with them for about 6 years.
Okay. When you worked for them, what were some of the big projects you remember kind of working on day to day?
We did a portion of I-40.
Okay.
Down Johnson County, we did a portion of new I-95 in Rocky Mount.
Okay.
They were mainly highway contractors.
Okay. Awesome. And then Andy told me you kind of took a leap of faith and you stepped out and decided to do it on your own.
I did.
And when did that take place?
That was in 2015.
Okay. What was the main motivator?
There are probably a few different factors. Like I said, I started in 1978. I was working with someone else. I guess kind of bluntly, put money in other people's pockets. And I decided one day I want to try it on my own. Try to pocket some of the profits myself.
Absolutely. Okay.
So that's kind of what led to it. Put it bluntly.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense, right? I'm tired of putting money in somebody else's pocket. I'm going to put some in my own. I totally understand that. So you've got a deep background in construction. You're not some guy who just stepped into it and did it and said, man, I got money. I want to start my own business.
Right.
You've been doing it from, like when you were a kid.
Right.
So you have really seen the technology in construction go from, I'm not going to say what Andy says, horse and plows, but you've seen it, and you really, especially the GPS part of it, really come from the beginning.
It's actually something that I was very resistant to, just being old school.
Sure.
My take on it was I thought it would make people lazy.
Okay.
People wouldn't know how to read the grade stakes anymore that surveyors put in place.
Sure.
That type of thing. If for some reason the system went down, you had nothing to work with.
Sure.
But as time has progressed, I've become more familiar with it, seems to be more reliable than what I was thinking in the past. We now actually own several rovers and got several dozers set up with GPS on them, and they're working great.
Okay. Awesome. And I guess, Andy,
back in the early days at Fowler, what was the aha moment for you when GPS was there and you finally you took you got on board with GPS versus being resistant?
Honestly, Andy, I never got on board with it
Mm-hmm.
when I was there. You know, it was kind of forced on me because that's what they wanted to use.
Mm-hmm.
When I really had the aha moment was when I started my own.
Gotcha.
And it was kind of driven a couple of different ways. One was, as I say, it became more reliable. I become more familiar with it, and a lot of the clients didn't want to spend the money on surveying anymore.
it's actually a good segue. So, you are obviously a business and you need to attract your customers and your clients. What kind of clients and customers do you look for with the business that you're into?
Our main clients are national builders. We go in and put subdivisions in for them.
Okay. So having that technology, those basin rovers really go out and lay those sites is sped up your process, I'm guessing.
Absolutely.
Okay. And not to make you speak well of Andy if you don't want to, but I mean, how is working with Benchmark and, how is working with Andy and Benchmark kind of, has it sped up your technology integration? Has it just been like a crutch for it? How has the relationship been, and have you seen that progress?
Benchmark and Andy have been a great partner in our business and helping us get up and running. As I mentioned, I've always kind of fought the GPS a little bit, and I still do every once in a while. I don't totally understand it myself. I have people that do.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as something happens, I don't know what to do with a piece. I can rely on Andy or someone at Benchmark at all times.
Awesome.
to pitch in and help out. All I have to do is make a call.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, that's we're super glad to have you. Andy mentioned that y'all's relationship has been strong. I think. I want to go back, Andy.
Mm-hmm.
You told me a funny story about the first time you sold a piece of equipment, and you didn't exactly get it right, did you?
Well, so all right, so this is several years ago. I don't even remember. I don't know, probably 6-7 years ago. I had just started. I was new to sales. I literally came out of the service department. I've been in service all my life. Okay. So they put me in a sales position. And I'm out and about, and I think I'm doing pretty good. And I run up with Kim and his partner and talking about rovers and stuff like that. And we decided to meet at the office one day and to look at a quote and go over a quote that I prepared for them for just their first network rover. Mm-hmm. Well, that taught me a lesson there early on because I didn't have all my I's dotted and my T's crossed. I didn't have sales tax down at the bottom of the quote. And we're in negotiations, going back and forth, and and they're like, I pushed the paper across. I'm like, all right, well, let's do this. Well, they signed it right away, and okay, deal's done, and I'm on cloud nine.
Sure.
I hadn't got many deals, just yet because I was still green.
Sure.
And then later that day, I realized I didn't have sales tax on it.
And Andy tells me you've got some pretty smart guys working for you.
We have a few. We do.
So they saw that number and they said, "Hey, that looks good. That's going to save us quite a bit of money."
Yeah. So anyway, that was a learning lesson for me.
Sure.
So, but anyway, it worked out fine. It was a laughing point. Something we laugh at nowadays.
Sure.
We've made up for it since.
Yeah, I think we've done all right. We're good.
Okay. I'm glad you guys got us squared up. That's good.
Yeah, that wasn't a sticking point in the relationship. No, we're fine.
Well, yeah, I'd say not. If you double charged them, maybe that would have been a little rough point, but
don't bring that up.
We do a little arguing from time to time on pricing.
Well, every relationship has that, I think.
That's right.
It's true. So I guess I want to go to when you started adopting the technology. I know Andy kind of asked you about the aha moment. But what has it been like going from not using GPS and then now using it on what I'm assuming is almost a daily basis?
We do. We use it daily. There's time savings for instance, you do not have to wait on a surveyor to come out and lay out a job site anymore.
Okay.
GPS. You don't have to worry about stakes getting knocked out and the replacement costs of stakes knocked out, or the guys not better work because they don't have stakes.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think that's the two greatest benefits to me.
Okay. And to bring it back to the stakes, you're not running into the problem. I mean, you guys are still able to read the stakes. They're still able to do their jobs. This technology is just kind of making that job quicker.
Well, that kind of goes back to what I was talking about earlier. Some of the guys getting lazy.
Mm-hmm.
I've got guys that know how to, and I've got guys that do not know how to because they've been brought up on GPS systems.
Okay. So you're kind of catching both ends of the spectrum then,
right.
still.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, the grading operator of old is a dying breed.
Sure.
Absolutely.
And you don't have that to pick from anymore. There are very few guys that can grade by the seat of their pants anymore.
Okay.
Or, and reading grade stakes is an art. It takes time to learn.
Sure.
Pulling strings and that kind of stuff. That stuff's time consuming, and it consumes manpower too.
Okay. So. Fair. I mean, that's a good point. Like anything else, stuff progresses and you got to learn a new skill set. But I'm assuming, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm sort of making some assumptions here, but, the time that you take, used to take to get to a skilled operator with some of the technology that you guys are able to use now, you're able to get maybe some more, efficiency out of those workers a little bit quicker?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Maybe I'm stretching. I don't know. Andy, you correct me because, I'm not
with
in the
this
field all the time.
With this stuff, and, he'll agree. I mean, you can take an operator that just knows the basics of a dozer.
Mm-hmm.
You can show him what an offset is, vertical offset, and you can put him in a dozer and get productivity out of him. The learning curve is not as steep as it once was.
Okay.
Without the technology, but it takes a younger guy. Some of the older guys, they adopt very well, but most of the stuff that's going on is a younger guy that's in the workforce now, and it kind of just bridges the gap between grading and how to grade.
Okay. I got you. So, Kim, since you've been in this for a while and, you've seen construction technology advance, walk me through a job site from 10 years ago to what a job site would look like now.
10 years ago, you'd have to wait for a surveyor to come in to start off with clearing, flag clearing. Once the clearing was flagged and it's cleared, then you had to wait for a surveyor to come in to put grade stakes in for any streets or any cuts, fields, whatever you would need. And a lot of times there's a lot of delays in that. Also, as I mentioned before, there was always stakes being knocked out during cutting slopes and so forth. With GPS, it's simply you get the file loaded and you walk into the job site and go to work immediately.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's there. What projects are you guys working on currently that's got you pretty excited?
We've got several subdivisions going. We got James Grove, South Point, Jordan Vista, for national builders, and a few more. But right now the market's good and hot, and we've got plenty of work, and I hope it stays that way.
Good, except if it would stop raining, and this
Absolutely.
this summer's winters, man.
If not, I'm gonna start designing boats.
Yeah.
If you had to give any advice to a guy just starting out, maybe in the construction or maybe just starting to adopt technology, what would your advice be to that person?
Roll with the flow. This GPS has really progressed. As I said, I've messed with it since it really started coming out, and I believe it was the mid-'90s when it started getting around this market.
Okay.
It's really progressed. It's a great tool. My advice is utilize it.
Awesome. That's good advice. It's just not going anywhere.
No.
Andy, same question. What about you? What advice would you offer somebody either getting into the construction industry or starting to use technology, either one?
I would think you don't know what you don't know with this stuff. A lot of guys come through and they think they're pretty technical and can wing their way through this stuff. I would just tell folks, if you're going to adopt GPS, look at the big picture. Who, wherever you're getting it from, or can they support you? Are they after bottom line? Or are they, actually willing to partner with you? One thing that kind of sets us apart from anybody else that does GPS is we know how to make the X, Y's, and Z's work, not just dropping a piece of equipment out there. And, and that, that comes from, just look in the service department, there's 20 some guys in the service department, we don't have a dog in the fight other than increasing somebody's productivity.
Yeah, fair enough. And I know, one thing Chuck's always said here is, he never wanted to be able to outsell what we can service. I know that's been a big thing to Chuck, making sure that we're always, available to our customers. And I hope that holds true. Kim, any final parting thoughts that you wanted to share with our audience today?
Well, as I said before, BenchMark's been a great partner with us, and our success. I intend to continue using BenchMark for our GPS services.
Yeah, we certainly appreciate that.
Been very reliable, and it's been great. Service department's been great, and I have no complaints.
Awesome. So if you guys wanted to get up with Kim, we'll put his information on the screen. Again, if you need any grading work or utility work done, feel free to reach out to Kim at Legacy Earthworks, LLC. If you need anything from BenchMark, as far as GPS technology, machine control, or basic field supplies, we'll put Andy's information up on the screen as well. Kim, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, awesome. And just to let you guys in the audience know, BenchMark is always looking to add to our team. So if you guys are interested in what BenchMark does or some of the technology that we offer, or you wanted to maybe apply, drop us a line at benchmarksupply.com. You'll see the About Us tab, and we're going to put a form up there where you can drop your resume or just ask us some general questions. Gentlemen, thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys hopping on, and please stay tuned for the next Benched In podcast. Thank you.
Thank you.